Today we are looking at a type of Japanese yokai.
These ones have got their own special website, don't they?
They have. We found a whole website to give us bonus information. I am going to start the episode with saying thank you to Bex, who is not only built the entirety of our Discord server, which if you sign up to our Patreon, you'll be able to get access to our Discord and say hello to us over there. But today's episode, Bex gave us the idea and Bex gave us all of the information today. So she's the one that's actually done our research for us, and we've actually found some bonus research. So thank you,
Thanks, Bex. Thank you, Bex. And with that...
Boo-Foons, mystery investigators.
We have done research into yokai. Yokai are the supernatural entities and spirits within Japanese folklore. Turns out there are loads and loads and loads of different types of yokai, to the point where we're going to have to spread these out over several episodes. And we're probably going to have...
Dan, several years.
Several years, definitely.
Several years.
So today is going to mark the start of several episodes, not all in a row.
So, Dan, which one are we going to start with, Dan? You're going to surprise me with which one we're going to start with.
Well, what we have found is there are three great yokai. And those are the Kappa, the Tengu, and the Oni. The Kappa being water monsters. Tengu being gods or spirits, they're the supernatural beings. And the one that's the big one, the Oni, which are demons, orcs, ogres, and trolls.
When you went through these, right, every time you say Kappa, all I see is the branded clothes. I see that logo in my head. That's it, right? And then you say Tengu, and all I can think of is Pengu or Pingu.
Newt.
And then you say Oni, and then it's Only, and all I can think of is anything, Oni the Lonely, Oni fans, all these different things, which we're probably not going to use now. Yeah, it's a great start. Yeah. And the good thing is you picked three I can pronounce.
Apparently, according to all of the research I found, they're the three great and three major types of yokai. However, looking into those, there's a lot of information that goes with each. So this could potentially, if we did all three and also all the other yokai that are out there, we could be here for hours and hours.
Especially if we have to catch them all.
Yes. Yeah, I do wonder if these were the inspiration of Pokemon. I know you hinted it before we recorded, but I wonder if...
There has to be. There are so many types and subtypes and evolutions of the character of the demon, of the spirits as well. It has to be inspiration for Pokemon.
It has to be. It's got to be.
And Digimon.
Oh, I loved it. Digimon, there used to be, and this is one of our random tangents, there was a Digimon game on the PlayStation 1 that was basically like... that Mario fighting game, Super Smash Brothers. It's a bit like Smash Brothers, but it was the Digimon, and you could Digivolute or whatever it's called, Digivolve or whatever they called evolution Digimon, to become more powerful to unlock special abilities. I used to love playing that game.
You've got a PS1. Go get the game again.
I think I do own the game. I just had fond memories of playing it at youth club when I was a teenager.
This in Norfolk?
Yeah.
Did they have TVs in Norfolk at that point?
They did. There was also a Sega Mega Drive at the youth club as well.
There was a Sega Mega Drive in Norfolk. The people in Suffolk kept trying to steal it. Yeah.
Yeah. There was two games, Sonic the Hedgehog, because of course there was, and then some random horse game. And there used to be a girl that always used to play the horse game, and I always wanted to play Sonic. And it used to really bug me that I could never play Sonic because there was this girl always playing the horse game. Yeah. I don't know what the horse game was called.
Yeah.
She was like grooming a horse in it. Yeah.
I saw you blink there when you said it. You can't say that anymore.
No.
When you say grooming, Jimmy, I was going to say something you're going to beat me up. Okay.
I mean
look,
using
okay.
a hairbrush. Should we go back to talking about Japanese folklore? So, the origins of the Oni. So, the root word of their name means hidden or concealed, and it was written with the Chinese character for ghost. Originally, all spirits, ghosts, and monsters were known as Oni. However, nowadays and through time, there's only a handful that are officially known as Oni, and others are types of Oni. So in the old days of Japan, Oni would refer to almost any supernatural creature. So ghosts, obscure gods, large or scary yokai, vicious and brutal humans would also be included as being an Oni. So an Oni is basically the bad guys. However, here's an interesting thing, because female demons and the female bad guys are not Oni, they're known as Kiju. So therefore, Oni are only the evil male demons, because the female demons that are evil are called the Kijo.
Are they actually evil though?
When you look at the other types of yokai, there are some that are nice and do good things. It seems as if the Oni tend to be all the horrible things like ogres and demons, orcs, trolls.
Yeah. So they can be red, blue, black, or yellow.
Which, with snakes that have red and yellow patterns on them, they're the snakes that you avoid because they're the ones that are deadly. And the frogs that have blue on them in the wild are the frogs that you avoid because they're either poisonous or venomous.
Oh, that's toads, isn't it? That's toads you lick. Is that right?
Well, yeah, well, there are some that are blue that you could lick and get a hide before you die.
Don't have to spoil it, Dan. You have to spoil it.
If you want to go and lick some toads,
and lick a toad, I go all the effort. The last thing I want to do is die.
If you remember, you've got to get the legs of it, so then you can control horses.
That's it. Yeah, make them decompose. So we went on holiday when we were little tiny kids. My sister won a holiday because she was in a talent competition. So we won a holiday from a holiday. And in the holiday camp, they actually sold frogs' legs. So I ordered some frog legs. I was like 11, 12, anything that grossed the others out. Didn't tell my sister it was frog's legs. I just told her it was chicken. So she was eating away, and it's like, they're very small chicken legs. I said, yes, they're frog. She was so sick. She was so sick. It was so funny. I don't think she's ever forgiven me for the frog's legs. But there was quite obviously not. You couldn't get a chicken look like that. They still have the webbed toes. Sorry, no Norfolk jokes. I'm sorry.
The only similar story I have to that is going to Belgium on a GCSE school trip, and they've got us all sitting in the youth hostel for our evening meal, and they'd cooked a roast for us because of course they did. British people, let's do a roast for them. And the meat, it looked like beef, but it didn't taste like beef, so I didn't know if it was the gravy or the meat. So I remember asking the lady who was the chef in the youth hostel what it was. And we're at the table. I said, "Oh, what is this?" And she just goes, "Oh, it's and she couldn't think of the English word. So she starts going, clip clop, clip clop, clip clop, racing, clip clop. And then eventually she goes, horse, neigh. And I was like, "Oh, this is horse." And she goes, "Yes, horse, clip clop, racing, clip clop." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Me being me, just continue eating it, going, "This is lovely, this is." And the girl opposite me threw up under the table and ran out of the room. We later discovered that she was deadly upset about eating horse because she actually had a couple of horses at home, and she ended up with that mental image of eating one of her horses that she looks after. I didn't speak to her past sixth form, but she did end up turning vegetarian. She never touched meat again. But a couple of years after that was the big Tesco burger scandal.
But horse is really good meat to eat. High in protein, low in fat. It's if you go and do meat.
Well, as you know, most of the meat that I tend to eat is from the local Bedfordshire countryside. So I do end up eating things such as venison, and that's what I tend to eat most of the time.
You just go look for the ones that run in front of the cars, isn't it? That's the one. You pick them off the side of the road, take them home.
Okay. No, I know somebody that works for the farmers, and
you don't. You just look after roadkill. Admit it, Dan. There's you trying to be all posh. You just pick up roadkill.
Funny enough, that is the exact joke that I say to the bloke as he hands me a bag of meat and I hand him a bottle of wine in exchange. Anyway, the Oni. So the Oni are one of the greatest icons within Japanese folklore and as part of one of the yokai. They tend to be evil, so they're known for their superhuman strength, how they've been associated with having powers such as thunder and lightning, along with their evil nature manifesting for murder and cannibalism. Some of them will be shown as having horns growing out their heads, some will have massive teeth, sometimes a third eye, and like you said, Steve, depicted with either red, blue, yellow skin, wearing loincloths or tiger pelts. So they tend to be shown as being something to be scared of.
Anyone wearing a tiger skin loincloth is definitely asking for something you want to avoid. Quick question, right? It says here, but the Oni, male and female, they have cannibalistic tendencies.
Yes.
Right? That means people have nothing to worry about, because surely cannibalistic for them means they eat other Oni.
Yes, but do remember that just evil humans were originally considered as Oni.
Yeah, but they don't wear loincloths and paint themselves red, blue, or yellow, do they? And they don't have thunder or horns sticking out their heads. So let's just talk about the monster ones. If they're cannibalistic, they're just eating other Oni. We're fine with that. Yeah?
Yeah.
We've got no problem with their cannibalism as far as they're concerned. So that's okay. That's a good feature. We're very pleased to say they like to eat each other. Humans are perfectly safe around them.
Yes, but it does say when a human is so utterly wicked that his soul is beyond any redemption, he transforms into an Oni while still alive. He then remains on Earth to terrorize the living. These transformed Oni are the ones most legends tell about, and the ones who pose the most danger to humankind.
Ex-humans.
Yeah, I suppose they are ex-humans, but they were originally humans.
Yeah, but okay, so they have to, for them to be cannibalistic, there has to be other ex-humans they eat. Okay, you carry on reading.
Other variations exist in different colours and with different numbers of horns, eyes, fingers and toes. All Oni possess extreme strength and constitution, and many of them are accomplished sorcerers. They are ferocious demons, bringers of disaster, spreaders of disease, and punishers of the damned in hell. So their habitat is listed as being hell, which are the demons, remote mountains, caves, islands, and abandoned fortresses. The abandoned fortresses tend to be the humans that have turned into Oni. The mountains, caves, and islands are the ones that are seen as being ogres, or even orcs or trolls.
Right, okay. Right, I think generally, I could be wrong, Japanese don't have a concept of hell, at least in Shintoism. I think a lot of the religions that Japan has, they don't believe in heaven or hell. How did the Oni get to be in hell?
Because you've got links to the Chinese Taoism of the Demon Gate.
Do they have hell?
Sort of. So it's Demon Gate. I guess the Western version would be to call it hell. So the Demon Gate is considered an unlucky direction through which evil spirits pass. Demons do tend to be linked to hell. So Japanese hell, known as Jigoku, is a Buddhist-derived concept of a temporary subterranean purgatory designed for purification rather than eternal damnation. It has 16 realms, 8 hot and 8 cold, ruled by King Enma, where souls face gruesome karma-based punishment administered by the Oni before eventual reincarnation.
Oh, that's cool. I like the idea of you do something really bad, you die, you get punished until you come back, give you another chance to do better.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're talking about, isn't it?
It pretty much is. And looking at the idea of this hell concept, the one that's the most similar to how hell is depicted in Western culture is the Jonetsu Jigoku. I'm not sure if I've pronounced that correctly, but that's my best attempt. And that's the burning hell, which is the place for severe sinners, including murderers and those against the Buddhist teaching. So that would be the one that's considered closest to the Western concept of hell.
But again, it's just a temporary stop on the way to redemption.
It is one of the 16 areas, and the Oni are some of the gatekeepers of that. So it says that they do have cannibalistic tendencies, but their full diet is listed as being omnivores, but mainly livestock, humans, and alcohol.
We get that all the time with these. Do you notice all around the world, no matter where these things are, they always want to drink. It doesn't matter what the diet is. It's cigarettes and alcohol.
Yes.
This is just they're all linked, aren't they? They're all.
That was my favorite, because I started to become convinced that maybe I was a curupira, because I think that was how to get rid of the curupira was, here, have some booze, mate. Here's some alcohol and some tobacco as well.
Curupira was the one with the back to front feet.
Back to front feet, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Yeah, the South American one.
Isn't it? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
What is it with alcohol? Everybody wants alcohol.
Yeah, including me.
Yeah, well, yeah, you usually go for it anyway. It doesn't stop you. At least we know you have it without the human flesh. Well,
True.
Or do we? Suspect.
Majority of the time without. Depends if I've upset the barman or not.
It's not human flesh they put in your drink, it's something else. Oh, that's disgusting. Has anyone been so unpleasant in the past? Something might have happened to their drink.
The worst thing I have done behind a bar is back when I worked at the university bar. And there was this guy that came up. He kept coming up to the bar and just kept being a real nuisance. And he was one of those people that was clearly there to waste your time. And it got to the point where me and the others on duty had enough of him. And he kept coming up with these big, bold claims. Not actually buying a drink of any kind, just would come up. And you're like, what do you want to drink? Oh, no. And they would start talking. It's like, right, fair enough. And then you'd walk off to go and serve somebody. And eventually he came up and he started telling us that he could drink anything and he would down it and he would be completely fine. And we got to choose what he had to drink.
As long as he paid for it.
Yeah, as long as he paid for it. And he was saying all about the different shots. I said, fair enough. So what I did, I gave him a shot of Bailey's and a shot of lime cordial. And I told him he had to down the Baileys and then the lime cordial, one straight after the other. And if he could down it, because he was doing all this proposition, he had put 20 quid on the bar. And I said, right, fair enough, have these. If you don't throw up, I will give you 20 quid. If you do, then the money's ours. And he downed both of them and then immediately ran outside to throw his guts up because it had curdled. Thus, I walked away with his 20 quid, which I actually did as a tip, and we split it between the three of us that were working because we had all had enough of him. And he came back to the bar about 3 nights later and started moaning about the fact that I must have done something to his drink, And he was convinced that we had tampered with it. So I actually got a brand new bottle of Bailey's, a brand new bottle of lime cordial, put them both on the bar. So he opened them, tried it again, his own will, same result, and realised that it was not tampering. And considering this is somebody that was at university, so therefore receiving education, he wasn't a very intelligent chap, considering he was... he was still convinced that it was something with the drinks, but couldn't figure out that the lime cordial was curdling the cream in the Baileys.
Yeah.
And that's what was producing the result. That's one of the very few drinks to not mix is Baileys with anything because of the curdling. Everything else, they say about grain and grape, don't mix, wine and beer. It's fine. Oh. You can.
Saying that you probably can't. I'll tell you why in a second, but you carry on.
Well, the only reason why it happens is what tends to happen is people, when they mix it, what tends to happen is they tend to start on beer, which is about 4% proof. They can drink the pint, knock back 5 or 6 pints quite easily. Whereas wine is usually around 15% proof. So therefore, one glass of wine is probably the equivalent of about 3 pints. So people who tend to go from the beer and then tend to knock the wine back as quickly as they would drink the beer and end up with more alcohol in their system. So that's what tends to happen. So you can. I mix wine and beer all the time. I'm just well aware that you drink the wine slowly, you drink the beer fast.
But you're not stupid enough to put it all in the same glass, are you?
Well, if you put
drink
it all
at the same time.
No,
all together. Okay, I was right. I travelled across the country for Biffo's 16th birthday party. I was living in Southend at the time. On the train, drove all the way. I had a little bit of money, enough to get back. Got to his place. On his 16th birthday, everybody, lovely time. I was the first to arrive, and he made the suggestion, and I don't know why, but yeah, I bet I could drink. Put everything in the glass. I could drink it. So I just remember everything went in this pint glass, and I drank it. And next thing I know, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just about waking up. That was it. It must have been 6 o'clock in the evening, and so I was upstairs in his bed, unconscious. Missed the entire party. I travelled all my last bit of money to get the train up to Harrow, and then passed out in his parents' house on his 16th party. Missed the entire thing, and then I had to travel back home with a hangover the next day. That was Don't mix drinks in one glass. It had everything in there. I learned a very important lesson that day.
Yes. Yeah. The only I like that it says just alcohol at the end there. I bet they can knock it back by the looks of them.
What do you reckon their favourite alcohol is?
Am I going to get us cancelled if I suggest plum wine or sake?
When you say sake, I mean you're taking the mick.
Well, let's talk about how Oni are born. So Oni are born when truly wicked humans die and end up in one of the Buddhist hells. Transformed into Oni, they become the ogreish and brutal servants of Great Lord Enma, the ruler of hell. Wielding great iron clubs, they crush and destroy humans solely for enjoyment. And Oni's job is to hand out horrible punishments such as peeling off skin, crushing bones, and rendering other torments too horrible to describe. All these tortures are for wicked sinners, but only those not quite wicked enough to become reborn as Oni themselves. Hell is full of Oni. They make up the armies of the great generals of the underworld. So that then explains back what we were talking about with the hell. You've got to be a truly horrible human to become an Oni, and everyone else is a case of, you're a little bit bad, so you just get punished and then you go back.
To avoid that punishment, all you got to do is be really evil and just be a Oni. I mean, is that the better option? Is there a downside to being an Oni? You get to eat well, you get to drink, you got your entertainment. It's a bonus to be. It's like an encouragement.
I guess it's because they're considered evil. I suppose that's the bad side, is you don't want to be one of these horrible demon things. Do you really want to? It's
full of them. It's not like you're the exception, is it? You want to be in the gang. You know, all your mates are down there. You're having a whale of a time. It's like Friday night in Cardiff.
So the Oni do tend to just be seen as being evil, bad, committing all the crimes.
Do you know what, though? It's quite good, though. If you're really that evil, it's best to keep you away from humans. So you just get to punish, but you don't get to come back up and annoy people in the next life. So I guess that's the encouragement for it being the really evil people, because they stay in hell.
So I'm looking at this. There is a traditional custom. The traditional bean throwing custom to drive out Oni is practiced during Setsuban, which is the day before the beginning of spring. It literally means seasonal division, which is in February. It involves people casting roasted soybeans indoors or out of their homes and shouting Oni wa soto, fuku wa uchi, meaning Oni outside, blessings inside. The custom began by the samurai around the 14th century, and they still do it to this day. The custom happens at the Shinto shrines, Buddhist temples, and by the general public. So they still do it to this day. So that's a 700-year-old tradition that is still happening to this day. In different regions, they will have a charm made of holly leaves, which they will use as a guard against Oni. And there is a game in Japan called Onigoko, which is the same as the game tag that children in the Western world would play. The player who is it is called the Oni.
Do they have a club? Can they just smack the other kids around the head? How does it work? I want to see. Look, they caught me and flayed skin off my body. That's a really bad game.
I've read here, so there are Japanese idioms and proverbs that make reference to the Oni. So there's one, Oya ni ninu ko wa Oni no ko, which means a child that does not resemble its parents is the child of an Oni.
That's harsh.
Wow.
How can a child not look like its parents?
But yes, so the Oni are used in stories to frighten children into obeying because of their grotesque appearance, savage demeanor, as well as how they can eat people in a single gulp. I've got 3 stories here, which I don't know if we've got time to fit into the episode, but maybe we have. Momotaro, the Peach Boy. It's a well-known story about an elderly couple having the misfortune of never being able to conceive a child. They find a giant peach that miraculously gives them a boy as their child. As the boy grows, he is made aware of an island of demons.
Sorry, let's go back. The giant peach gave them a child.
Yep, the giant peach gave them a child.
Did it just pop out the bum-looking part of the peach, or did it have arms and legs and just hand them a boy? Is there any details on this? Wait, this is a showstopper.
My brain went to, did they name the boy James? Looking at some of the illustrations, he's literally bursting out of the peach, like it's a giant egg. But the boy goes to the island of demons, and he's captured, money is taken, and kept as slaves and as a source of food. Oh, no, sorry. He is made aware of an island where the demons capture people, steal their money, and they're kept as slaves, a source of food. Momotaro, the boy, sets out to travel to the island with some cakes made for him. While on his journey, he meets a dog, a monkey, and a pheasant.
Okay, no, carry on. We got to see where this goes. This is...
They partner up with him to defeat the demons on the island. Once the demons have been taken out, they recover the treasures and return them to the rightful owners. Momotaro and his companions, after accomplishing their goal, all return to their homes. So that's a story about a miraculous boy who went and killed loads of Oni.
But it doesn't say how. We don't have an idea how he killed them with his duck and pheasant and monkey.
So on the island, he and his animal friends penetrated the fort and beat the band of demons into surrendering.
Okay, so lots of penetration, lots of beating, giant peach, monkey to spank, treasure to steal. Didn't steal it though. Returned it to. How do they know who the owners were? What's the moral of this story?
I think it's just a fairy tale.
Western fairy tales always seem to have a moral to it.
I think it's more of a story of people are being kidnapped and he's gone and saved them by killing all the demons. I think that's probably the thing. Because if the demons are going over and kidnapping all of the people and eating them and stealing their gold, and he's gone and killed all the demons, that's not happening again, then he's a hero, isn't he?
Well, I guess it was because he was from a peach rather than just a normal person. Yeah. Is the next one as good as this?
Well, you've got Oni Mask is a story where a young girl goes off to work at a lady's house to make money for her ailing mother. She talks to a mask of her mother's face once she is done with her work to comfort herself. One day, the curious co-workers see the mask and decide to prank her by putting on an Oni mask to replace the mother's mask. Seeing the Oni mask, she takes it as a sign that her mother is worse and not getting better. So she leaves after alerting her boss. After trying to run to her mother's side, she is sidetracked by some men gambling at a campfire. The men capture her and ignore her pleas to let her go to her mother and instead make her watch the fire so it does not go out during the game. While she is stoking the fire, she decides to put on the Oni mask to protect her from the flames. In that moment, the men only see a brightly lit Oni through the red glowing flames, and terrified run away without gathering their money. The girl, after making sure that the fire would not go out, takes the money, waits for the men to return for it, but as time grows, she remembers she was going to see her mother and runs to her mother. While she is at home, she sees her mother is healthier than before, and because of the money the gamblers left behind, she has enough to take care of her without going back to work at the lady's house.
For a start, these guys weren't the worst, were they? Just wanted her to stoke the fire, unless that means something else.
Yeah.
In the morning, they would have gone to bed. She could have then left. Was she stoking a fire through that cage? And if they were, how did she get out? Put a mask on? What's the moral of this story, Dan?
Well, to me, that story feels very much Cinderella-esque.
Do you know what it feels like to me? It's written by AI. Both those stories are written by AI, if you ask me.
Well, the third story is The Red Oni Who Cried. It's a story of two... is a story of two Oni, one red, one blue. The red one wants to befriend humankind, but they are afraid of it, making the red Oni cry. Knowing what the red Oni wants, the blue Oni devised a plan to make himself the villain by attacking the houses of the humans and allowing the red Oni to save the humans from the blue Oni, making the red Oni a hero to the humans' eyes. After the humans see the red Oni protect them from the blue Oni, they determine that the red one is a good Oni, whom they would like to be friends with, which is what the red one wanted. Seeing this exchange, the blue Oni decides to leave so as not to cause any misunderstanding with the humans. When the red Oni goes home to see his friend the blue Oni, he noticed the blue Oni is gone and realizes that the blue Oni has done for him and cries from being so touched by the blue Oni's thoughtfulness and wonderful friendship.
Definitely written by AI.
Well, according to this, these have come from, so Momotaro the Peach Boy is from Tales of Japan's Stories of Monsters and Magic, published in 2019. Oni Mask is Folk Tales of the Japanese Countryside, published in 2008. The Red Oni Who Cried was published in 1970 in a book called Japanese Demon Lore. So it could just be that these are summaries written in English and the actual full stories have a bit more to them.
Considering how cool the average anime is, these are pretty weak, but no weirder than some of the anime I have watched.
Yeah, but no, I have Googled it, and that Oni Mask story is a traditional story all about protection.
But they're the bad guys.
Well, it's the mask of it.
Pretend you're going to eat somebody, whereas wearing a loincloth, and you're the good guy now. Do you know what? I reckon I could look like one of them if I just painted myself red and wore a loincloth and shaved my head.
But don't you think it's interesting, that description? That's in the Western world how the devil is often drawn.
It is.
Well, that's all I've got to say about the Oni today. So we will have to revisit some of the other yokai.
Oh, yeah. How many did you say there were?
Well, there's 3 main types, but then there are loads and loads and loads, because there's even similar versions of those ones. Even with the Oni, there are several different examples of the Oni. So we've only just really spoken about them in general. You know, like, for example, you've got the Gozu, which are the ox head demons.
Yeah. Oh, you got the one who split up the Beatles?
Yeah.
Yōkai Oni.
And what a random point to end this on. We were talking about the Oni and part of the yokai, and we will definitely have to revisit yokai again and talk about some other types of yokai, because there are loads.
There are loads.
And do let us know somewhere, whether it's Patreon, social media, one of the many apps. I know you can comment on Spotify. I saw somebody wrote a lovely comment on Spotify the other day that was saying how amazing one of our episodes were. I believe it was the episode where we had Seb on, and somebody had said it was a wonderful episode and they enjoyed our interview technique of talking to Seb and very much appreciated us as hosts.
Oh, that's
and
lovely
they
thing
also
to say.
loved Seb's they loved his stories, but they also loved us as hosts, the way we interacted with him.
That I like. We need more of that. Yeah, and if we get more lovely comments like that, I promise to shut up more during episodes.
But yes, We'll be back next week, not with another story of Yōkai. We'll do that another time, but we'll definitely have to return to Yōkai. Definitely. Do give us some love across the social media, and give us some ratings on whatever way you are listening to this, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, whatever it is. Do give us a rating somewhere. Podchaser, give us a rating there.
We've got 7 5-star ratings now on Spotify, and that wasn't all just me, I can tell you that.
We do appreciate it.
We do.
And tickle our Patreon if you want some bonus content.
Tickle our Patreon if you want some bonus.
On that lovely note, goodbye.
Bye.
Boo-Foons, mystery investigators.